Everything you thought you knew about one of Hollywood's most beloved stars was carefully crafted fiction. In 1982, Grace Kelly, the Academy Award-winning actress who became Princess of Monaco, died in a mysterious car accident that shocked the world. But the real story begins 26 years earlier, in a decision that would haunt her for the rest of her life. Picture this. It's April 1956, and Grace Kelly stands at the pinnacle of Hollywood's success. The scent of fresh roses fills her dressing room at MGM Studios as she reads the script for what would become her final film. At just 26, she had already conquered Tinseltown, working with legends like Alfred Hitchcock and Jimmy Stewart. But behind those famous ice blue eyes lay a secret that would change everything. You see, Grace Kelly was about to make a choice that even her closest friend couldn't understand. The fairy tale romance between Grace and Prince Rainier of Monaco, it was anything but fairy tale. Their courtship lasted exactly 3 days. 3 days to decide the fate of one of cinema's brightest stars. But here's what the newspapers never told you. Grace Kelly almost said no. The night before accepting his proposal, she locked herself in her hotel room and cried until dawn. Why would America's sweetheart, at the height of her career, consider walking away from everything she had worked for? The answer lies in a conversation that took place in a dimly lit restaurant in Cannes, where Rainier made her an offer that had nothing to do with love. Monaco was facing financial ruin. The tiny principality needed an American injection of glamour, and more importantly, American dollars. Grace Kelly wasn't just being asked to be a princess, she was being recruited to save an entire nation. The dowry alone was $2 million, equivalent to nearly $20 million today. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will change how you see this supposed fairy tale forever. Grace Kelly's marriage contract contained a clause that Hollywood executives and even her own family kept hidden from the public. She was forbidden from ever returning to acting. Not discouraged, not advised against it, but legally forbidden. The woman who had given us unforgettable performances in High Noon and Rear Window would never grace a movie screen again. The golden gates of the Monaco Palace became a beautiful prison. Grace found herself isolated in a foreign country, speaking a language she barely knew, surrounded by courtiers who saw her as an American outsider. Her letters to friends back in Hollywood, discovered decades later in private archives, reveal a woman desperate to return to the craft she loved. In one particularly heartbreaking letter to her agent, she wrote about feeling like a bird whose wings have been clipped. Now, imagine being in her position. You've achieved everything you dreamed of, and suddenly it's all taken away. How would you cope? What would you do? Tell us in the comments below. The press painted pictures of royal bliss, but the reality was starkly different. Grace struggled with depression, turning to alcohol and prescription medications to numb the pain of her sacrifice. She watched from afar as her contemporaries like Elizabeth Taylor and Marilyn Monroe continued to captivate audiences, while she attended endless charity galas and ribbon-cutting ceremonies. The woman who once commanded million-dollar salaries now had to ask permission to leave the palace grounds. But Grace Kelly was no victim. In the late 1960s, she began secretly negotiating with Hollywood producers for a comeback. Alfred Hitchcock himself offered her the lead in Marnie, and for months it seemed like the princess might reclaim her crown as queen of the silver screen. The people of Monaco were outraged. Protests erupted in the streets, and Rainier was forced to make an ultimatum. Choose between being a princess or being an actress, but not both. The crushing weight of that choice would haunt Grace for the remaining years of her life. She chose duty over dreams, country over career. But at what cost? Those closest to her noticed the change. The sparkle in her eyes dimmed, replaced by what her daughter Stephanie would later describe as a sadness that never quite left her. Here's the part that will make you question everything you thought you knew about that fatal day in September 1982. Grace Kelly wasn't just driving down that winding mountain road when she lost control of her car. She was fleeing. Earlier that morning, she had received a phone call from a Hollywood producer offering her a role that could have been her triumphant return to cinema. At 52, Grace saw one last chance to reclaim the identity she had sacrificed 3 decades earlier. Witnesses reported seeing her car weaving erratically, but not from mechanical failure or medical emergency. Grace Kelly was crying. The woman who had given up everything for duty was finally ready to choose herself. But fate had other plans. The impact threw her from the vehicle, and with her died the secret dreams of a comeback that might have reminded the world why we fell in love with Grace Kelly in the first place. What do you think? Was she right to sacrifice her dreams for duty, or should she have chosen her passion over obligation? Share your thoughts below and tell us, which Grace Kelly film do you remember watching first? Share your memories in the comments. We would love to hear your stories. The official cause of death was listed as injuries sustained in a vehicular accident, but those who knew Grace Kelly understood that she had died years earlier, the day she signed away her artistic soul for a crown. The tragedy wasn't just the loss of a beloved princess. It was the silencing of one of cinema's most luminous talents, a voice that was never allowed to find its full expression. In the end, Grace Kelly became exactly what Monaco needed, a symbol of glamour that saved a struggling nation. But the price was the slow death of the artist within, a sacrifice that few truly understood until it was far too late. She gave up her dreams so that others could dream of fairy tale romances, never knowing that the real story was one of profound loss disguised as ultimate gain. This was the last song Grace Kelly loved to listen to, a haunting melody that reminded her of the Hollywood dreams she never stopped carrying in her heart. See you in the next video.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? Let's go! Hey! Yeah, this is my life, my strife, my right to fight, to die on. And this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it?